My name is Elias Musha. I'm coming to you live. Elias Musha here. I'm coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta. I'll give you a few minutes to spread the word around. I'll give you a few minutes to spread the word around. We have very, very interesting things to talk about. Now, of course, today we've got to deal with the elephant in the room. We've already been talking about this for several days now, but you know, that is what is happening. So why not make sure that we exhaust this issue? And we've got to talk about it again today. The issue of what the Constitutional Court has ruled in the Nkunika and Nyirenda case. Okay, in the Nkunika and Nyirenda case, and the reason why we must deal with it is because it really is very important for the future of our democracy. This is a very important ruling, and so we must treat it with the seriousness that it deserves. And so that's why I decided to say, even on Monday today, we've got to talk about it. You know, we shouldn't leave it and say we are not going to talk about it. Okay, so if you have any questions about this thing, please go ahead and ask. All right. Now, let me go back to the position that I hold regarding the Nkunika and Nyirenda case. First of all, that decision is not clear. Number one, it's not clear. It's not clear on a critical question. Will ECZ accept people who take tertiary education, degrees, diplomas, masters, or doctorate degrees? That is the question. Will ECZ accept candidates who go to nominations with their degrees in their hands? That is the most critical question. And we understand that ECZ is going to clarify on Wednesday. When they come back and clarify on Wednesday, we'll come back and we'll talk about it again. That is the critical question. Because the language of the Constitution itself says that in order for you to be nominated, to file in your nominations, you must have, as a minimum academic qualification, a grade 12 certificate or its equivalent. That's what the Constitution says. Minimum grade 12 certificate or its equivalent. If that is the case, then is ECZ going to accept those that go with a degree or a diploma or a master's degree or a doctorate degree? That is the critical question. The Nkunika case deals with only one aspect. It's the aspect of equivalency. And the Nkunika case says, well, tertiary education and all these other things are not equivalent. Trade certificate and craft certificate are not equivalent to grade 12. Well, that's understandable. They're not equivalent, that is clear, but they have not guided the nation on whether maximum academic qualifications are going to be accepted or not. That is the most critical question that we must deal with. All right? If a person shows up with a diploma from UNZA, from ZIT, if you show up with a diploma from ZIT, will ECZ accept it? It is my humble submission that yes, they should accept any higher education degree without question, without doubt, without confusion whatsoever. If you show up with maximum education, they have to accept it. Okay? They have to accept it. Ebet Biligat, Uncle Musha, why are you looking nervous? Nala Sevana. I think Herbert Bilika thinks that I'm nervous because of this grade 12 thing. No, I'm okay. As far as this grade 12 thing, I can satisfy it completely. So I say today that I'm going to tell you whether I have grade 12. I do have full grade 12, division 1. I had credits and merits and satisfactory. Never had a distinction, right? But credits, merits, satisfactory, complete certificate endorsed by Examinations Council of Zambia. I got it from Chingola Secondary School, Chingola High School in Chingola. That's where I got it from. So it is a full grade 12 certificate. So I'm not nervous. I'm not saying this because I'm nervous about my own self. No. I don't do what I do for personal interest. At this is personal to me. No. I just want common sense to prevail. That's all. I'm just a common sense, but therefore I have a common sense. No mulinganya, okuba fair. That's all. So there is nothing personal. There is something personal I'm trying to get at. No, what personal? In I qualify. Bambi mrefu at mirange, isha mirange. I'll not, but I qualify fully, completely. And so I qualify in a way that is very, very wonderful. It's not about me. No, it's not about me. Counsel, don't you think debating this case, which is now law, is a sheer waste of time? Because what the Constitutional Court rules is what does the Constitutional Court rule? Munjere, what does the Constitutional Court rule? The Constitutional Court has only ruled that indeed a grade 12 certificate is the minimum qualification, just like the Constitution says. Help me out here. The Constitutional Court has just ruled what the Constitution says is the case. Minimum educational requirement is a grade 12 certificate. The confusion is where people now are extending it to say that the only qualification then you need to show is a grade 12 certificate. That is where the things are. Nga mwatambo kula chita translate minimum into only, one and only. In other words, the problem is not with the Constitutional Court. The problem is with you. I know the Constitutional Court indeed has not helped matters, but the problem is with Pantu. Muletu wala mu Constitution. If you mumano yenu, not even Constitution in Ireland. That is where the issue is. So the Constitutional Court has said, yes, minimum educational requirement is grade 12. It has not. So if the Constitutional Court has said that is the only requirement, let them be clear, no whatever. The only certificate that they will be accepting QCZ is a what? Grade 12 certificate. Now, if they say that, it will be a very bad decision, completely bad. It will be so bad that we can't even describe the badness of that decision. It will be extremely bad for our country. Ogochita insist to a physical paper ya grade 12. No. Nishi ku Canada vangenela under 5 ku university. Education is available to everyone. You know? Number, if we are a poor country, so when you are a poor country, you be why? Because of shortage. You see? That's why in my Chiwempala manifesto, this is the proposal I'm making. Under the Chiwempala manifesto, but there will be universal education in Zambia from grade 1 up to grade 12. Every person in Zambia is going to be vakapuishama school. There will be access to schools and universities according to the Chiwempala Manifesto, Chiwempala Plan. It is only after you have made grade 12 accessible to every citizen in Zambia that you can come up with rules about making grade 12 compulsory. Not for so many years, Chingola had only three high schools, Chingola, 3 secondary schools for many years, from 1960 to 1995. 3. Number, you have not made secondary school accessible to every citizen in your country. Elo nomba mwaya mukuchinga abantu that know they can't be leaders. No. Why? Under the Chiwempala Manifesto, every corner concept kuti apo wachitira apo wanianta ni secondary school, grade 12. Then you can justify yourselves that we are going to make grade 12 as the entry requirement for leadership. Otherwise, no, it's not even necessary. Why should we have it in the Constitution? For what? So I can't talk about Canada. Why? Because Canada is not the one that is in trouble. It's Zambia. If you're to Nyirenda in Zambia with this thing. Yeah. Mr. Munja, what's next to correct this error? There is no error. It says minimum grade 12. That's what the Constitution says, minimum grade 12, which means ngawatuala degree. Bafwire bakusuminisha. Any degree. So it's not just that the only qualification. It's not the only qualification. Vasangwa bali live na wena vasangwa hapo. It's tough. It's a very freedom of choice. So I didn't know that Professor Sangwa is live. Listen to him. So mwakula umfwa kubidi Professor Sangwa nokula umfwa kubidi wa Chiwempala. There is nothing wrong with it. Yeah. Copy. This is it. How can you obtain a higher qualification without a minimum? Commander. Commander Ino says that makes sense. I agree with Commander Ino. Vamunsha mule yasuka ma questions. But I've answered. Which questions is it that I've not answered? You asked me whether I have my grade 12 certificate. I said yes. Naliwata certificate. What I'm talking about, it's not because I'm trying to complicate other people no, I'm just speaking for others. That this interpretation of the law is going to affect. Because it's not what the law says minimum, which means it's just minimum. It's minimum. Which means if you have maximum, you can take it to ECZ. Sangwa had a point about their fitness for purpose. That could be the case. Because you see, when you are a constitutional court, you already have a job for you, right? You are a specialized court. As a specialized court, there is a certain outlook, a certain worldview with which you can approach questions of the Constitution. So that outlook is very important, that worldview. The constitutional worldview. It's an extremely important worldview. Kasonde, in the UK, there are foundation courses which are used by universities if your O levels are average. They should have introduced those A levels. Yeah, everywhere in rich countries, there are always ways in which you can better yourself. You know? Straightforward ways in which somebody can better themselves. And even in Zambia, they should be there. You shouldn't just say at because this person lacks a grade 12 at Chapwa. No, people can still better themselves. They go to tertiary education, they do crafts education, and do that and experience. It gives you an idea that Edwin Soko, imwe bamunsha na imwe amano yalifulisha sana. So nomba muletu fulunganya na ifwe. Ndemi fulunganya shani. If you feel extremely straightforward, tapali nefili complicated hapa. This is not complicated. There is nothing complicated. The Constitution says if somebody has the minimum requirement is a grade 12 certificate or its equivalent. What is complicated about that? I don't understand. Minimum grade 12 or its equivalent. What is complicated about it? If you are people with they are suspicious of people with degrees. You know, so some people are suspicious of people with degrees. So because they are suspicious of people with degrees, they think that people with degrees did not have grade 12 certificates. So they want to fix them. So to fix those people with degrees, we are going to require grade 12. No, the Constitution says it's a range between minimum and maximum. So from grade 12 to maximum, if your minimum yalo sha, ngabako bati minimum, it means epa kwambira. So at the minimum is grade 12. Otherwise, kuti watwala ngani degree na doctorate. Emo chalola. Nga watwala doctorate degree. Isi zeti taifuri yako kanina. No, because according to the law, the grade 12 is only the minimum. Epe. So who are later doctorate, kumuchta accept is a candidate. Why can't you accept them? Who are later masters, they are a candidate. Who are later bachelor's degree, they are a candidate. No, but if you have problems with abantu abakwata doctorate degrees without a grade 12 certificate, luenu, that's your problem. It's your own issue. If you tafikuloleshe umuntu ngaleta degree from an institution of higher learning in Zambia, nishini degree we. If you have problems with institutions of higher learning in Zambia, then deal with those institutions. But please leave the degree out of your problems. A degree is a degree. If a person has a degree from a Zambian university, a degree is a degree. If you don't trust them, lueno. It's you who the Constitution should not be concerned with petty jealousies and petty quarrels. No, the Constitution is above utuma petty quarrels. Even in Chingola, kwa aliko utuma petty quarrels between Chikola Chikola Secondary School, Chingola Secondary School ifofwe bali mtown, na Kabundi Secondary School alikuli bashimaini kunchanga. 3 tware settinga. 3 schools. Nomba, tekuleta mo constitution, muku settinga kwa ma secondary schools. Okay, kwali na yambi yabili nomba shayalumbule. Kwali adult education elo kwa sabana Sacred Heart Convent. Tatwale bapen, they were not in the same league. It was tough. Now, you don't bring in constitution, mutuma problems to ama secondary schools and how they are fighting each other. No. Just like ama universities in Zambia. A university in Zambia, if it is registered with the Higher Education Authority, it is a university. We are calling them briefcase universities. Who told you to call these universities briefcase universities? They are registered. They are accredited. It's a university is a university. Filia shortage mentality de akale yako university kano unza fiali pwa fiakale. It's over. If UNZA feels like they are superior, it's okay to feel like UNZA is superior. No, but do not bring quarrels and the petty jealousies between universities into the Constitution. No, that's it. A university is a university. Empowerment. At one time, when the Zambia Open University started the law school, UNZA and the government and Ziale itself refused to admit Zambia Open University. That you do not have the requisite qualification. You can't become lawyers. They sued. And what was the court's decision? Court if you go at only the University of Zambia is a university, in Zambia now, we have several universities. Kutuwa, kanshi kutuwa yafe kukawe wa kula ko university, na kumirenge kutuwa ya kula ko university. All that if you go at no university is only unza or zit. Zit. At Yema universities feyeka, fiakare, fialipua. Inonshta, anything can be a university as long as it is accredited by Zambia Qualifications Authority and Higher Education Authority. These two institutions accredit my universities in Zambia. So if a university is accredited, it's a university. What else is it? But you want to fight these universities by using this grade 12 thing at Yosha. No. Leave them out. Ifitenge. Kwali vefitenge ku grade 12. Ifintu ni wangu, ifitenge ni wangu. Nanga balu sambo does even have a grade 12. Samunsha, you look old today, mulibakote. Dimukote. How do we correct the mistake of the constitution, them by final decision? They've not, what mistake is it? The only thing is to go back and tell them, as constitutional court, you need to now tell us whether ECZ will require a grade 12 or ECZ will in fact accept between grade 12 and a doctorate degree. But how can one get to 19 before getting to 9? What are you talking about? I don't understand. Question. How can one get to 19 before getting to 9? That is, well, that question is irrelevant. Now, that this question is irrelevant. I must add, this question is completely irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. What does it solve? It is the constitution here landati between minimum grade 12. Maximum is the doctorate degree. If your constitution yalanda. So inenga natwala maximum. Why should you ask me about a minimum? If you are concerned about minimum, just take it with me personally. Muireta constitution, muirepesha constitution. Ngata muvatemeno ama doctors haba kwata doctorate without a grade 12 certificate. That is your own personal problem. Fio. It's simple. That's your own personal problem. As far as the constitution is concerned, it has no problem because constitution yariranda between minimum grade 12 and maximum is infinite. But if you have personally got problems with a doctorate that has no grade 12, that is your problem. How can one get to 10 before getting to 9? That is that is irrelevant. Even in Zambia, we can still rewrite. Okay, acceptable. What subjects are on old Form 5 certificate? I don't know. I didn't do old Form 5. I did my high school quite all right in 1996, but it wasn't Form 5. I'm Form 5, I think I'm 80s. I'm in the 90s. The 90s. Even the other lawyer, he's Diamond TV explaining it differently. How is that helpful? What is differently? Details of what we are talking about. It's not enough. there's a different worldview, or there's an alternative point. You explain what that alternative point is. So what is the alternative? What is the other gentleman explaining? So but what is he explaining? If you want to pakuba nachita react tekwisa mukole bafye omuntu mulomo ati yo ifyo leranda nafipusana nefireranda ulya nga nifinsha leranda ulya ifipusene tevyo vile bantu nabantu, if that's how even wars start obufi ati omfwa ulya kirala ndefi no firondolole bwino so that everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. How can you have a PhD without grade 12? It's a requirement to have grade 12 before entering any university. Bufi. Aaron Simwanza, I need to differ very appropriate, in a very respectful way. Bufi. It is not true. If you don't have grade 12, you can't do a PhD. This is just not true. It's just not true. Many people world over have gone on to receive higher degrees of learning without grade 12. Nyirenda, grade 12 is not important. All I'm stating is a clear fact, both historical and common sense. Higher levels of education without having lower levels of education. Without lower levels of education. Anyway, minimum age eligibility requirement for presidential candidate is 35 years old. So does this mean that only 35 years? I like that reasoning. Imagine, under 35-year-old minimum, under 35-year-old is the only. That's a wrong interpretation. 35-year-old minimum, which means it's a range from 35 to what age? From 35 to what age? From 35 to what age? 100, maybe 1 million. Because the Constitution then prescribes the minimum age. It does not prescribe the maximum age, which means no mundo wete 102, like Pompolyongo, my grandfather, Pompolyongo. He died in 2016 at 102 years old. Okay, this month he was 5 years anniversary of his death. He was 102 years old. So if at 102 he wanted to be president, he would have become president at 102 because the Constitution prescribes the minimum age, 35, and then leaves the maximum open. Number, Okuchita insists to cover Yokano only 35. Shimono Kulan that only 35-year-olds are going. I agree with your reasoning, Mono. I like your reasoning. Yeah. Mike Sovi, leadership is not about education, it's wisdom. Our founding fathers never had grade 12 certificates. They managed to change the nation. It's true. I agree with you. I agree with you. So now, we need, some are saying grade 12 is needed because we need educated politicians. No. For politicians, we just need people who have wisdom. That's it. If you have wise leaders, they are going to hire a bureaucracy that is educated. It's simple. You do not need to have extremely educated political leaders because political leaders are policy makers and visionaries. They then hire people who are technocrats. Zambia is not a technocratic system. Zambia is not a bureaucratic system. Zambia is a political system, meaning bantu basala. When a person becomes a politician or a political leader, it means then that they are appointed to provide leadership and to provide vision to the nation. That's what it means. So what we need is abantu abakwata amano ayachifialirwa. Those are the kind of leaders we need. If they need doctors, they are going to train doctors, medical doctors. They're going to train lawyers or whatever it is. They're going to do it. That's what we need. This emphasis on the fact that politicians must be technocrats. No. Where? We are not a technocratic system. We are a democracy. Bantu basala. It's people who choose. Basala kwa umuntu alikwata mano kuchateka. Okuteke mbwa mano. That's all we need. It's just a way of putting rivals quiet. That's why I'm saying, why should you put unokutemwa sana ine kwena ine nimpapa, fellow Zambians, nimpapa at how we as a country tuleshoba abantu that don't have grade 12 certificates. We are a nation of ifishobo, you know, nokupontera abantu nokumwenamo. Some of our citizens abashakwata grade 12 as if it's a sense of pride. I don't understand it. Why would we be, as a country, be happy about people that do not have grade 12? When they don't have grade 12, not because they are not sharp. They don't have grade 12 because there were few secondary schools in Zambia, extremely few secondary schools. Nombe shuko fyo muntu wa shuka have secondary school akwata grade 12. Echo nomba tule batukira. No. Instead of us being humble, but when are we going to ensure that every child in Zambia goes to grade 12? Those are things that we need to be passionate about. Obubuteko bunda bwakwiba, obubuteko nibuka bwarara. Thousands and thousands of teachers, they have no jobs. So why ukulachinga abantu? Mwamona, ukuchinga abantu to become leaders. And yet there is no access to this education. Takwaba access yo. Bareshta ma helicopter, no which they're distributing peer to cadres. And yet access to education is very, very limited. I'm not going to join that. It's not something that brings me pride. It's something we need to be over so many people that don't have grade 12s. Bami chushewa grade 3, aine. Bami shupa ba grade 7, mwevere you are just going to go for it and you are banning, aine. Adi ba grade 7 mwatu shupa. Mwatu take a pafula. Turefo have a grade 12. Eh? That's tough. No, Vane. You know? Let us stop mocking. It's not a mocking issue. If a leader has no grade 12, it's not a mocking issue. No. If you spend 1 hour trying to explain yourself, then you haven't anything. Professor Lumumba, Chapwa. Okay. How is that related to what I'm talking about? Grade 12 ni 1 hour. 1 hour is too much. I cannot 2 minutes na 2 seconds. Vafika nyodi. Serako. And truly, within seconds, na vafika nyodi. Serako. Awa madega no to sembe. Within seconds, vafika. They can't explain anything in an hour. They can't sing for an hour. Na vafika nyodi. Olwimbo luleta mpafe bafika. Serako. That's what you mean here. If you are taking an hour to explain Jivia Chave, Kanofia 2 seconds. Kuchita explain, you should just explain in 2 seconds or 2 minutes. Aye. Not in Mbwesha Kale. Shileshare taking a 15 minutes. Imagine Urwimbo, Mpanga ya mambwe. 15 minutes urwimbo lulelera tamulefu waya it's too much mulefu waya fe 2 minutes urwimbo lwapo bantu shani lwafika abanyoli. What a relief. So Kalimanshi will never rule us. Imwe kata mulefu waya landeni vya tamulefu waya legenu kula bepesha constitution fia lipwa fia kale fia kale fia pwa mwe kale fia pwa so a university is a university is a university. And liberalization has been one of the most powerful thing in Zambia. And now mwale monat they can't have a university degree. They have a university degree. Abo mwale so that they can't be pastors. Nibashima people. You know? If I'm a church, many churches, we can't be bishops. They were surprised. Under liberalization, kuisa fiat religion is free. Walala, oluchero bwacha wa umfuaresa that you are a bishop, waya ichta ordena that you are a bishop. That is the spirit of a winner Zambia, a freedom area. Not that no, go to university, go and do theology, shani, no. You are a bishop. Why should you go to university to become a bishop? No. Bakatolika, very disappointed. How come wabuka fioluchero you are a bishop? That's a freedom. Freedom nish. The same thing is happening with universities. Unza, they have gone to school by Sambirina, PhD, 10 years. Liberalization. A new university comes up. No, this model of to 10 years mumuchusha, PhD. 2 years, 3 years, PhD. Unzoko irishani, what's going on? No. Fiakare. Ukukoshe fintu. Nevi shifiro ukukosha koshe fintu. Tafile panga na sense. Omuntu atuala research proposal na chaya wino. Ukumukani na fiatu why? Because we are a monopoly. We are the University of Zambia. Imwe research proposal inatantika wino ifakachita. The same proposal. Aya itwala kuba sungu. Aba sungu bebere 100%. The same proposal, I told a private university in Zambia. I'm a professors. Sometimes even the same professor. But this is 101% who are passer. Here is a PhD. So, number you've been in power for a very long time. You receive a shock of your life. A democracy. That is what it means to be a nation. People can still have issues, but at least do not involve now the Zambian law. If you're using the law, constitution, in other words, you are trying to achieve indirectly what you can't achieve directly. A degree is a degree is a degree. Whether there is a material Nyirenda forgery. I'm not talking about forgery, please. Forgery is a criminal offense. What I'm talking about are legitimate Zambian private universities that are accredited in Zambia. They are a university. Liberalization. And even voting now, Mwandina. If you can't do it for voting, why should you do it for candidates? Chimfulungania. Imagine councillors in Milenge. All councillors in Milenge must be grade 12s. Okubafe councillor ko Milenge. At you must be grade 12. Okay, fine. But why should they stop abantu abako adembita kwata grade 12 but alikwata diploma in teaching? Alikwata diploma in theology, or alikwata diploma in law, or alikwata all these other diplomas from so many channels. Why can't they? No. You are becoming irrelevant and boring. Awe imwe ba Daniel na look kui kamitondo kale tamwantemwa. It's okay. Bantu ine boring yo tamule fwaya eyo bambi bafwaya efyo beshira na mukumfwa nicho ilya ine boring yo iwe taule fwaya eyo bambi bale fwaya chachine at another man's poison is another man's cup of tea ngata fikuloleshe iwe kuya kuba kumfuisha kwino. Life is too short. Imagine kwana kalimo ninkukakira ati sa umfwefye ninkudonsa ati come and listen to Elias Munja yomne. You are using your own bundles. Ngata ulefwaya kuleka washimia waya umfwako na iwe aba kumfuisha kwino. It's simple. Zambia is a democracy. Please don't live as if somebody is forcing you, you know? No. Kuchita, if you're lefwaya, if you're le kabila, ukusekesha omupashi. What do you think that song meant? Ukusekesha omupashi. It means you do whatever you. Ichalo bali wamia. Bachiruba. Ichalo bali wamia. Freedom. No one is forcing you. Konfwe kubo lefu wokumfwa. Uleke aba lefu wokumfwa kulile na ile bachishani womfwe. That's all. It's unfortunate that many of our leaders think that having a grade 12 certificate would actually translate into intelligent debates. No, having grade 12 certificates will not translate into intelligent debates. No. Because people do not debate intelligently simply because they have grade 12. Even people with degrees, they can debate unintelligently. In fact, isn't it educated people? Imwe, mumona kwa tabaho na ole chalo ni ba grade 3, na ba grade 7, na ba grade 9. And people that have not been to school, no. Abaho na ole chalo. Bantu basambirira. Ebeba. Parapene pali accrual method na cash accounting baiba. Parapene pali baiba. Who are the greatest thieves right now in the PF government? Teba sambirira. Abaiba COVID money. Teba sambirira. Abachita mismanage donor assistance and they educated people. Why aren't we focusing our attention on character? That's it. Character. Things like TVETA. Please stop looking down on TVETA institutions. Stop looking down on TVETA institutions. If anything, that's the development, that's the backbone of economic development. It's trades, and crafts certificates. Those are the number one thing that is responsible for national development anywhere. Trades. Why is China what it is? Trades. Why does China make everything? Trades. In Zambia, we are insulting trades. How can we even listen to ourselves? We are insulting trades. We are insulting crafts. We are insulting apprenticeship programs. I don't understand. I am not going to join you in looking down on trades because trades are the backbone. Trades. Nkunika. Okulungisha ifya kulungisha. Nokupanga ifya kupanga. Those are the things that are responsible for economic growth. In fact, the biggest investment we need in Zambia, it is investment in trades. We've done very well with universities, believe me. We have private universities. But what we need now is a deliberate effort by the government to channel into trades, to continue Kaunda's trades programs, trade schools. revive them, revamp them, encourage them. No kubeva. At you trades, you are important. You are part of our economy. No kubapera bwino tuma levels, no tuma certificates. Trades. A nation that looks down on the trades, you know what? It's going to die because tapadi abale panga. Ama lawyers tabapanga. Finish ama lawyers tabapanga. In Zambia, ama lawyers. Ni finish bapanga. Ni finish bapanga. Iyi ne constitution bapanga. Ifitala fieka. Constitution ifitala fieka. Nangwati philosophy shani. What ni finish bapanga. Trades are the backbone. In the Chiwempala manifesto, Chiwempala plan, tukachindika ama trades. Noku yachita fund. Umuntu nga chakutira kale kula kamwa ichaka aba very, very good atukupango tuntu. You know? Ukupange mioto kashama waya. You see what we were doing in Kuwaiche. Kwadi tumotwari extremely good at making mioto kashama wire and mechanical filafin. Takaya pona kuskuru yo. Primary. But nakakwata, you know, very good mind. We need to encourage that. This attitude to kama trades is bad. Or no, it's extremely bad. It's sad. It makes me sad. Imwenga chakutura mulongo for wino, Nyirenda, muletuka abantu abakwata trades. Do not count me in. What Zambia needs is trades and crafts. Let's go to South Africa. What keeps the mining going? What keeps their industries going? It's machinists. It's tradespeople. It's plumbers. It's people abapanga utuwaku panga. That is the focus of the country. Engineers. Not only engineers abakwata philosophy of engineering, but engineers in the artisanal engineers. Naranda we know. So artisans, those are the backbone of any economy. Why is Trade Kings able to manufacture all this? It's artisans. Operate machine. Machine ibomba shani. How many shani does it need to rotate? Kuti nika pesa. Ngamule pangefia kufuanta. Kuti fia fuanta shani. All those things. Number, we have invested very little in trades. Nothing in trades. Today, and buying helicopters. No investment in trades. Wunda wama degrees na grade 12. Ukufikosha sana grade 12. How did I find myself in Canada? That is for another day. As a young boy growing up in Chiwempala, I always dreamt of Canada. You know? Na lefo ukuleta Chiwempala ku Canada. Na ilofe mnako ata. Na lefo kuinika Chiwempala lo. Mangeni efie. No, original yale pesha Chiwempala lo. Who is going to come to you? Jabero, okay, fine. It will be Munshalo. FNH initiation of your company. You're in a boring. Abanango, Arefoku Veka la Panza and Savanango. Avene in a boring Evatemwa. I have of me. Probably the examination council could start issuing honorary. Yeah. Imwe please nala seva na mfiro kulase kamchinshi because nipamula basapa kwali baba presenter kairi eva pona monseko. It will be extremely embarrassing. Mfiro kulase ka nish, at least I'm maintaining my dignity. Number ifi at honorary grade 12. That's pretty wonderful. I totally agree with you on trades and crafts. The colored people are well known for their craft. Okulungisha ama machine. That's what we need. Investment in trades. You know, we've done very well with universities. I have no problem. There's still more that can be done, but we need to shift our attention to trades and respecting if you are lungisha. You know, we need to do that. Even abasungu abatemwa investments, they can in fact come kuchalo in Zambia to invest in Zambia because now they should not kwatama trades. The whole reason why Apple has all these factories in China, it's because China ama trades ekoyadi. Vali kwatefya kwa kuti bachita assemble, you know, kuchita assemble because if you feel for a physical work, for physical work. So nomba bayabe abapanga nangwa batinike fima machine ivipanga. But those are trades. Tamwalande kweli ashira mufitenge. Evyo mfualire tai chitenge kanjita mumwene tai ya chitenge. Ni tai ya chitenge. Because abantu efyo bachita what works for people is quite interesting. Bambi fetai wafya. Efyo bafuaya. Efyo batemwako tai. If is a show die. But one thing I've found in among Zambian men, particularly Zambian men, if you think, I don't know why. So number one tribunal period, ish no busuma tribunal, but tribunal period. Aren mutwebe, why do people Zambian men like everything? Imagine he's missing the point. It's about what is in the law, not what he is personally thinking. The Constitution would have still included them if the drafters had thought about them. Sorry, are you talking to me? Because sometimes in Shimona, whether you are actually answering someone else or you are answering me. You're saying that it's about what is in the law. Are you talking to me? Chisumpa, please. Help me understand because therefore was kanomba chirefo was kichasuke yasuke, you know. Muleba Paula va mwankole zo nae Aaron's mwanza even experience ya ba atinika machine bemba language ukutinika nshirantire bwino that machine kutinika. It's not sounding good. Utinika means pressing. Utinika. Watinika tinika. That's what it means. Trade schools were turned into business colleges because everyone wants to be in the office full time. And that's very sad. It's very sad. Pride of dirt. We don't seem to appreciate it. We don't seem to appreciate it at all. We are not looking down on trades and vocational training papers. We are simply talking about what the law says at the moment. Yeah. And I think that is where the problem is with that decision. That is where the problem is. With that decision, anyway. In any case, Katwish, I don't know how we can resolve it. But the Constitution is very clear, minimum grade 12 or its equivalent. But anyway, the Constitutional Court says they don't care about trades because they're not equivalent to grade 12. That's what the Constitutional Court has said. Who am I? But in my Chwempala manifesto, we are going to remove Chwempala. We are going to remove that requirement until everybody. We'll come back to the people of Zambia. No, but you people of Zambia, what we need to work on under the Chwempala manifesto is this. Make education accessible to every person born in Zambia. After it's accessible, limbero munga tonton kanya populate fyama grade 12. Not now. Ndala pazeti ni theory chab. If you invent something, first they ask you what papers you have and not about the invention. It's very sad. They can't even look at it. Mofialo nga wachita invent something. You are even called an inventor. Now my universities, baakuleta, they even grade your invention. Ngani coursework, yaine, baichita regard as coursework. Ngata wako hata degree, baakupera na degree after they introduce you to some courses. Efichitika. Steven Spielberg, what is his name? This producer, Hollywood producer. This guy had no degree. So about 10 years ago, is it 10 years ago, he took his films, I watched that produce, that with a degree. He took his films, Elobaya Muchita grade. I don't know which university he went to. And then they made him do a few more courses, and he was given a degree. Steven Spielberg. Extremely creative person, producer, for a degree. No, they took his films at the produce. Elobamuchita grade. Yambi apasa, yambi B apasa shanshani. Every fielo file pandanshi. Not to koshe fit straightforward kosha. And not only that, apparently under yo people are wrong to say what the Constitution says, but even the attitude of insolence, attitude of ponto, the way we are responding. No, it's not just about the Constitution. If you show this attitude here go to Muntunga that way the grade 12, Mwamba kokula mpanga kona kalimo, tevena Zambia. No kubaseka. I know we have problems with the political class, but please, if we have a problem with the political class, let's just deal with the problem as it is, not to kwamba kokula bamwena more because they have no grade 12. No. Bill Gates no degree. Doesn't he still have a degree? What I know is he's a dropout, but didn't he have a degree subsequent to that? Didn't he do an MBA or anything like that? I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Sangwa says the judgment by Constitutional Court was okay, no need for degrees. The High Court judgment was wrong. What is your comment? No. To be honest, I did read Justice Sichinga's decision. Justice Sichinga's decision was on point. It was on point in 2016. It is very well reasoned decision. If you watch the River Concord, inshallah, they think. But no. I think constitution if your constitution irandire not mwambokula vika mo if mumutwe mumweno mwafivika mu constitution nawe constitution under minimum, which means it's a range from minimum to maximum. Go to maximum nishini maximum. If a degree has been offered by somebody from the higher education authority, it's a degree. Chapo. Even in meetings, they introduce themselves by their degrees. No one introduces themselves by certificates. It's two more, especially who are in higher offices, because some it's not about school qualifications, kanshima connections. Inekuti na salapo amano yachi fiari wapali grade 12. It's true. Mr. Munsha, what was your motive behind? And didn't ECZ reject the papers of the applicant when filling in and was in the seat nullified a long time ago? What was the motive behind? The motive behind what? The motive behind the law is in the language of the law. If you have a good motive and get into the minds of drafters, is not good law. The first document you consult when the law is made, it's the law itself. The intention of legislation is in the natural meaning of its text. If you're irandire law, not if you abantu batontonkenyero balepanga. No. You go to mischief rule. Before mischief rule even comes in, the first thing you do is waberenga natural meaning, minimum grade 12 certificate or its equivalent. What is complicated about it? Nothing. So number complicated. Minimum does not mean the only thing. It simply means minimum, which means to what maximum. Intention. Intention is in what you've written. Intention is not in something that you are going to tell us that you it doesn't matter if you are for omuntu achitirefu wachita. Not that achitirefu walefu ayokuchita. Iyo. Nga walefu ayokuchita fimo. Nga walefu wokuchita. Ero wafiru wokuchita. Ife walefu ayokuchita. Filia wachita. Nishefe wachita. I don't even know whether this is making sense. Regardless of your intention, ukuchite chintu. Ati ichine nkachichita. Regardless of your intentions. It doesn't matter. If you watch that, if you watch that, if you're feeling, if you're feeling watch that, if you watch that. That's how the law works. Te kwamba kwati yomkwai if you watch that, if you not for kuchita, idio na tampiro kuchita plan kuchitefi. No. Yo, if you feel watch that, mune if you whatever, if you watch that. Sangwa said the only minimum is required, meaning those who will be going to nominations will be asked to produce a grade 12 paper before producing. This is not true. Come on. This is just not true. This is not true. That the law says minimum. It means if you go with maximum, nishni maximum. Otherwise, if we are talking about this niche nombaganshi, so let's assume that the minimum requirement was grade 7. It meant what grade 12 niche they will not be accepted. Is that what it means? Okay, mwashupa mwativuta maningi. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What does the grade 12 certificate issues trying to abate or prevent? So that people can debate properly in Parliament. Thank you very much for joining me today. God bless you and God bless our country. If you are on Facebook, please like our page, follow us. If you're on YouTube, please don't forget to hit that button, Mutinikepo, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you sometime on Wednesday. After the Examinations Council of Zambia clarifies this issue, we are going to come back. The Examinations Council is either going to say that, yes, you can take a doctorate degree and it will be sufficient, or they will say they just want a grade 12. Whatever they decide, we are going to come back and discuss it. God bless you, and God bless our country, and let us not keep boring each other. Thank you.